I want to talk about adding some another bit of content to a verse that you've already worked on. Uh, I had a lot of issues I had to fix up in this, including the dreaded wrong period uh, and wrong words and wrong features. But I've fixed it mostly, but there's still one problem that I want to show before I go on. So this says, Boaz heard that Ruth left the land where Ruth was born, and that Ruth came with Naomi in order to live in a land that Ruth did not know. So let's look how it generated. Boaz heard that Ruth left the land where she was born, and that she came with Naomi in order to live there. Okay, that's wrong, because there is saying she moved to live in the land where she was born, because there would have the antecedent of the word land that was used earlier in the sentence. In other words, there would refer back to land that's earlier in the sentence. But it's a different land. See, she moved from a land, she left a land, and then she's moving to a new land that she doesn't know. So why did it come out this way? The reason is the thing index. Down at the bottom right, you see thing list, and there's only one version of land. So what we have to do is we click in an empty row, the last one, number 5 there, and we're going to click on land in the last line here, there, and there. So now let's generate again. Now the main reason I wanted to show you this wasn't to show you how to fix this thing list problem, but I thought I'll just do that before I go on to what I wanted to show you. Okay, Boaz heard that Ruth left the land where she was born, and that she came with Naomi in order to live in a land that she didn't know. So now it came out just like I wanted. Perfect. Okay, now what I wanted to show you here really was how to add some new text to a verse that you've already worked on. So here I had a question. Boaz heard which things that were about Ruth. So you might wonder what's going on here. Okay, this is not the Bible. These are comprehension questions that we're working on so that the translators can test that the readers or hearers understand what they are reading or hearing. So I wanted to add that other answer, the answer, onto here. In principle, we ought to use this append text button, but in practice that hasn't been working very well, so I haven't been using that. So now I'm going to go back to verse 12 here. So I want to copy all this. So what I'm going to do is click on the copy text button. So it's down at the bottom right. It's the first of the little squares to the left of the row that says thing list, and to the right of complex concepts. The first one that has 2 versions, showing that you're getting a second version, a copy. I hold down the control key. I do the left click on the beginning of the semantic representation I want. Right click on the end. Now we're ready to copy. Go back to verse 11. Now ideally I would click after this verse, but it doesn't work, so I have to click before something. So I'm going to click before this last right bracket. Okay, because I now moved this new material inside that sentence that ended with the right bracket, I have to move that right bracket back. So I'm going to click on Move Words. Yes, I know there are a lot of tricks you have to learn to do this. I'm going to click on the last right bracket now that I want to move back. Now I'm going to click before this clause that I inserted up here, and it put it back in the right position. Okay, now there's only one problem here. Okay, the problem is that we don't have the thing list updated because we have the right semantic representation, but it doesn't know what the right nouns are. So I'm going to have to regenerate the thing list. Before I do that, I'm going to look at what we had before. We only had Boaz, thing, and Ruth. So the thing was the thing that he asked. So Boaz is going to be the same Boaz. Ruth is going to be the same Ruth, and not Ruaz. And thing is only in the first sentence. So there's not going to be any interference with a different version of thing. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if thing should be different in the new text that I added. But thing doesn't appear in the new text. So now that I figured out what I need to do, I'm going to click on thing list. It's down at the bottom right. It's in the second from the bottom on the right column of buttons here. Click on thing list. So now you see the thing list has Boaz, thing, Ruth, just like before, but it added land and Naomi. So, question, what do we need to change? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, you might remember from the last verse that we worked on, where we're taking that and inserting it here, that there were two different lands. So we've still got to fix that. So I'm going to click on the 6th row here in the thing list, and I'm going to make the land in the last row, the land in the last row, a different thing list. I'm going to save analysis. I'm going to copy this text here. Okay, so here I clicked on edit text, put that here. So now I have the text for both sentences. Okay, and now we'll click generate and see if that works. Okay, we just have to wait a little bit as the program's working, and there it is. Okay, we still have this issue. What that were about Ruth. So it should say which things that were about Ruth did Boaz hear. He heard, so see, it knows to use a pronoun because it's the same Boaz. He heard that Ruth left the land where she was born and that she came with Naomi in order to live in a land that she doesn't know. Okay, so that's okay. So it looks like we did okay with this verse, and that's how you can add some new material. Now, the reason I could have reanalyzed, I could have added this text, Boaz heard so-and-so, into the, where we do edit text. I could have added it there and then analyzed again. The reason I didn't want to do that is because I did some work to fix up this first sentence. So I didn't want to lose that. So that's why I built the semantic representation somewhere else and then pasted it in here. Okay, that's all I have for today. God bless you. Have a nice day.